Welcome to the Other Side of the Page bonus chapter. This is a previously recorded episode that we had on our old podcast, and we recorded with the now #1 New York Times bestselling author, Kaylie Smith, who wrote Phantasma and Enchantra. This episode is about Phantasma, the first book in the Wicked Games series. And we recorded this with her at the end of 2024 when we just read it, fell in love, and DM'd her and said, "Hey, Kaylie, do you want to yap with us?" Turns out we had an absolute blast, and she came back to talk with us about Enchantra too, so maybe we will release that episode down the line. And Hannah and I took a break this week, but again, we did not want to leave you empty-handed. We hope you enjoy. If you have not read Phantasma and Enchantra, please do. They are so fun, so good, spicy, everything that you would like. And tune in next week to our regularly scheduled programming. Please enjoy. Hello, everyone. We are your hosts. I'm Britt.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are bringing you a very special author chat episode today.
Yes, we have the honor of hosting the USA Today bestselling author of Phantasma, Kaylie Smith. Welcome, Kaylie.
Hi, Kaylie.
Hi. I'm so excited to be here.
We are so excited to have you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, so I am a romantasy author from Louisiana, and I am a recent SoCal transplant. So I have been in California in the last few months. It's been so wonderful. Definitely a huge change, but I am pretty much just chilling over here, writing books. It's what I do almost every single day. Phantasma is my adult debut, so it's been such a whirlwind, very different from my YA, but I'm so excited to talk about it.
And what an adult debut this was. I mean, come on. In this author chat episode, we're going to be chatting with Kaylie about all things Phantasma, the creative process, what's next. Also, spoiler, if you're not following her and you haven't seen, it's like everything incredible. I'm so freaking excited. So just a heads up, we have a lot to cover today.
Yes, we'll be talking openly about Phantasma, so it means spoilers will definitely be happening. So if you haven't read it yet, why haven't you? Spooky season might be over, but you still need to read this book. And if you don't want anything spoiled, we ask that you pause the episode and then come back later so you can enjoy everything along with us.
Yes, exactly. And spooky season is year-round, in my humble opinion. So
I agree.
You can read it anytime.
It is.
Now, Kaylie, do you want to tell us a little bit about Phantasma in your own words, like a summary, synopsis, anything like that?
Yeah, okay. So Phantasma is about a necromancer named Ophelia who recently lost her mother. And her little sister Genevieve decides, in order to save their family estate, to go into this haunted house competition called Phantasma. And there are 9 trials based off of the 9 circles of hell that they have to survive. And in order to find her sister and get through the trials, Ophelia makes a Faustian sort of bargain with a very hot phantom named Blackwell. So
love it. And on the podcast, when we read and review books, we assign songs to the books. So we did ask Kaylie to assign a song to her own book, which I'm sure she has dozens, because I feel like that's how it works. And we've each also assigned a song. So we'll go into the details about like the lyrics and stuff later. But Kaylie, what song did you come with today for Phantasma?
But Phantasma has always been very Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls to me. Very Iris coded. I listened to that a lot while I was writing it too. So there's definitely like homages to that song in there.
I love it. Very random, but Hannah and I are recording our birthday episode, and I picked Yellow by Coldplay, which I then likened to say was like Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, where it's like one of those most iconic like songs that just like holds its own and stands the test of time, which is a very long-winded say. Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, can I just say that's my favorite song of all time? Yellow.
Really?
I'm not kidding. Yeah,
it's so good.
Like a lyrics tattooed on me. Like I love that song. That was my first dance song in my wedding.
I'm obsessed. I likened it to Iris, where it just like holds its own, like in its own category. Mm-hmm. So obsessed with that. And then for me, y'all know we're Swifties. The first song that I thought of while I was reading this book, and the one that stuck with me the whole time, is So It Goes by Taylor Swift. Obsessed with that song. It feels very Ophelia and Blackwell to me.
I agree. Mm-hmm. I also love that song. I think it's incredibly underrated in her discography. So
agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So my song, I worried it was like too on the nose, but it's one of my favorite songs outside. And I've almost picked it for the podcast so many times, but it never felt right. And so when I heard the main character's name in this book, I was like, done. This is my song. So I picked Ophelia by the Lumineers because I just love that song. It was on my short list for my daughter's name too. So like, I love the name Ophelia. But
Oh my
the
gosh.
song fit too.
No, my partner and I, we're not having children, but like if we were, that was like our number one name. I love her name. Also, just like
Obsessed.
the Shakespeare origin of it, and I love the Lumineer song too. So that's also on the Phantasma playlist. So great picks. Yeah.
Thank you. Obsessed. In these picks too, we have a season playlist, so these will be added in order to our season playlist. But now we're going to talk a little bit more about the book itself, about Phantasma, about the process. So excited to dive right in. And why don't we just start with like the basic, like what was the inspiration behind Phantasma? How did you come up with this concept? Where did everything begin?
Phantasma was sort of the perfect storm. It had a bunch of elements of things I've been thinking about since college. I have a fine arts degree with a concentration in art history. And so I took a lot of literature classes and so many art history classes. And two things, it was separate semesters, but like two things that I took extensive notes on and I was particularly interested in were Dante's Inferno and also like Phantasmagoria itself, which is a sort of like art medium. Phantasmagoria is described as like the sort of dream-like appearance of images, whether they're real or not. So it's an image quality sort of situation. And they used to use these like projections to make like ghosts and apparitions and stuff like as an art form. It's really cool. I feel like it's maybe very niche. Phantasma also means ghost in other languages. So it was just, I love a good word. And I remember writing it down and being like, this would be such an excellent title for a book. And then I forgot about it naturally. And then Dante's Inferno, I was just obsessed with. I don't get into it a lot because I know it can be kind of like a touchy subject, but I was raised Catholic. I am not a practicing religious person though. But like I call it the lore. Like I have all of that lore and imagery and like all the influences in like modern horror movies and Dante's Inferno. And it just fascinates me because it's like when you have the education on a subject, but you're looking at it as like a very non-partial, like outside party, I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
So I was just like, if you take the religious aspects out of this is like so creepy, like the 9 circles of hell and sin and punishments. And I was just like, that would just make a really cool book. But I didn't really connect those pieces until later, like when I was sitting down to kind of brainstorm what I wanted to write. I was working on something totally different and I was just not really in the mood for it. And my OCD was getting really bad. I've been diagnosed since I was like 6, but just like, I feel like when you have a mental disorder, I feel like it's a roller coaster with a lot of different things like medications and therapy and stuff like that. And I was just at a point in my life where I was just like really just chilling, like raw dogging life. Like my brain, and it was just acting up so bad. And I was telling a friend about it and they were like, you're like a living horror movie, like affectionately, but like that's terrifying. And I like sat back and it was like, wait a minute, you're right. I feel like that kind of just goes hand in hand with like psychological horror and like what's real and what's not real. And all of those elements ended up just being like coming back together. That was so long-winded, but
I love that.
No, but going back to your like religion point, I studied my degrees in religious studies, and everyone's like thinks like, oh my gosh, you wanted to be like a pastor or a minister. I'm like, no, but I think it's the same thing. Like I just was so fascinated by everything once you take the religion out of it, because I don't practice anything either, but just that fascination, everything. I think that's why I liked a lot of aspects of this book, because I could see that.
Yeah, it's like the basis of so many different cultures too. I think also people's need to also be part of something that's bigger than them and stuff like that. I think those are all just things that are very fascinating and sort of inform the world building of this world as well. Like immortality, especially like when you're immortal, it doesn't really concern you being like morally gray or evil, right? Because like you're never really going to have to face the consequences of that. You're going to live forever. So I love
Yeah.
that part. Yeah.
That's
So-
so cool.
Since this was your adult debut, what has the reaction been so far? Is there anything that like surprised you about user reactions or anything that really stood out?
This like blew up. And I don't think I expected it at all. My I'm still kind of living in it. I've done a few events recently and like the one yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And just in the moment kind of thinking, because it used to be my YA series was just quieter. There's a lot that goes into that, and publishing a book is just an experience in general. It's so much luck and unpredictability, and a lot of things are like word of mouth and how readers react to things. So like I don't think many authors can predict how something is going to do.
Yeah.
It was like I was at the event yesterday, and this is like the third one in the span of like a week, and me and my friend Darcy are like seeing how many people are showing up, and it used to be like maybe 10, and now it's I have a line everywhere I go, and it's just kind of like sitting there going like, what is going on? Like this is
Yeah.
like people are like reading this and liking it, and I'm like, oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it's been all very surprising and an adjustment, but like in a good way.
Definitely.
Yeah. I discovered this on Book of the Month. Like our picks for September came out because we are Book of the Month girls. Like my top shelf is all of my ones. I took one look at the cover and I said, this is for me.
Yeah.
This is
I think I
mine.
screenshotted it to you the same time that you were like picking your book. So I was like,
Yes.
this is your like,
Yeah.
you're going to love
But
this.
it is truly word of mouth. Like I have been, I can't even tell you how much I adored this book. Like I've been shouting from the rooftops. Hannah knows I literally bullied people into reading this.
Aw.
Like it is, yeah, if there was ever a book that like Hannah can attest to this, like all of the elements were made specifically for me, it's this one.
Oh my gosh, that means so much to me. Thank you. I know it's like the power of word of mouth is just
Yeah.
like, seeing it in real time is just wild. Yeah,
know.
I just kind of sit around being like, I'm so grateful. I don't even know what to do. It's
Yeah.
just wild. Yeah.
Now, talking more about like the depth of the book, and you mentioned it before with your OCD, that was one thing. Mental health representation in books, like Hannah and I both have struggled with severe depression and anxiety. You know, mental health puts you through the fucking ringer. Like it really does. So what was I know you said you were kind of like at the height of it, but what was the deciding factor for you to really just pour that piece of yourself into Ophelia? And like, how did that come together as you were writing it?
I think that was really like the catalyst that made me think to write the book in the first place. Like that was definitely the first piece in my mind that was like fully formed. I was like, she's so much of this is going to hinge on her journey with OCD, and that informs so many elements of the book and like how the plot goes as well.
Yeah.
And also I don't think I've ever read anything with OCD rep in it personally. I'm imagine something must exist. But then again, I get so many messages from people being like, this is the first time I've ever seen this on page. Like, or something described as like what they have, which has been very touching. But I think I was just like, why don't we get more of this? It's so odd. And like, I think it's like 1 in 40 adults have symptoms of OCD, and most of them and like not even like necessarily common. It's just, I think the symptoms are so wide, and it's an anxiety disorder that it's hard for people to discern that they're even experiencing something or that it's normal and like you can get help for it. And so I was just really like, I'm going to write this, and it's going to be as authentic to my lived experience as humanly possible. I also think it really served the fantasy aspect of the book. And like, she has this disorder where she does not know what is real in her mind and what's not. And then she's in a physical space that is also designed to make her not know what is real and what's not.
Yeah.
So it's like in the setting and her disorder are like kind of influencing each other. And so I was just like, it just works so well for the book too.
Yeah. I liked your little author star at the end because I actually have a therapy appointment tomorrow to discuss possible OCD that I have. And so reading this book, I'm like, Yep. Check mark, like certain things.
Yeah.
So hopefully
Mhm.
it can help like a lot of people that way too. So for the interconnected series, did it start out that way for you, or did it kind of develop as you were writing?
I always knew this was going to be an interconnected series. Yeah, I like to the way I describe my like writing. I do really really intense outlines, and I always start off with like much more than I need or have known I even sold, because I really like intentionality when I read things, and that's kind of author I want to be too. So I was like, I had planned honestly for like nine books, and I built every single thing in from like book one. And it
Yeah.
was just sort of like, if I never get to write them, it's no big deal. But if I do get to write them, there are breadcrumbs and things from the beginning. So it'll never be like out of the blue or like it sold well. So I just keep adding stuff on, which is totally valid and fine.
Yeah.
I really like to know what could possibly come, because I feel like adding on stuff later, you can kind of, I at least get backed into a corner and I'm like, wait, hold on. But I already set up these like world building rules, so I can't really go against them. So yeah, characters, like world expansion, I knew from the beginning that's kind of what I wanted to do.
Yeah. I love that. And especially knowing that like it didn't impact the way that this story was told, but it impacts the way that other stories will be told if you get the chance to do them.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. And then was there like any particular scene or chapter or anything that you wrote in this book that you were the most proud of? Like you wrote it, you read it, and you said, this is it.
I really, really enjoyed the level of deceit. It was the true or false level.
Mm-hmm.
I remember writing that and being like, this is like really good. Like, I was like, what an interesting trial. And then
Yeah.
I sent it to my editor, and he was also like, this is my favorite one. And I feel like on the surface, it's probably so subtle. Like they're just playing true or false. But I had to build so much. That round actually does so much character work
Mm-hmm.
across the board. Spoilers, but like it ends up getting Lucy cursed, which
Yep.
then informs Ophelia to like kind of break things off with Blackwell, which
Yep.
then leads her to Sinclair, and it's like a ripple effect. And like I knew all of those things had to happen in like that one scene. So I like finished writing it and I was like, I did it. I think I did it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, it's such a good. That was one of the scenes too. Like the whole thing was very atmospheric and so much fun. But that scene in particular, as I was reading it, I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, and especially because like some of their power was taken away during that scene. Like some people did not have the option to
Yeah.
step in and save themselves.
Mhm.
So that just added like another layer to it. And yeah, no, that scene is incredible. That whole sequence.
Yes, I was stressed in a good way.
Yeah. I was like, that's what I was hoping. I hope everyone's like, especially after the first person dies, and then the moment you realize that someone else is going to die and he realizes it too,
Yeah.
and there's like 4 whole seconds, and it's like, ah, like,
Yeah.
okay. I'm so glad it was actually stressful, because I was stressed. Like,
No, it was. I
Yeah.
promise it was. Like, I'm just like, because obviously it's a fantasy romance and like Ophelia's the main character, but like there were still so many concerns for her genuine well-being during it.
right.
Yes, because I'm always like, is this really like a romance? Like, is it gonna break my heart at the end? Like,
I know so many people are actually, I get messages all the time, like, I'm kind of afraid to finish this book. And I'm like, just finish it. You'll be fine.
Like, I promise I didn't hurt you that bad. You're
Yeah,
good.
you'll survive. So, was that one of the most difficult scenes for you to read, or was there anything else that like stood out that took a lot of development for you?
I think the most difficult part of the book were those damn clues at the beginning of each level. God, I actually, those were like the last things I wrote, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, I don't know why I thought I needed like rhyming was going to be fun, because I started off being like, this will be so much fun, and then quickly decided that that was the worst idea, because it's like I had all the trials and I was like, okay, how do I like putting together riddles and clues? I don't know. Like Jennifer Lynn Barnes, have y'all ever read The Inheritance Games?
No, it's been on my TBR
No,
for
but
a
I keep
while.
seeing it.
She makes like it's all it's like I describe it as kind of like Knives Out escape room sort of situation.
Yeah.
I do not know how her brain is like, she is so big brained. She makes all of these clues and riddles. And I'm like, you are a genius. Because I was sitting here for like hours to get like one of those.
Yeah.
And like, when you go back and read them, they're so silly. Like, why did that take so long? But
no, like we always, all roads lead back to Nancy Drew for us. And so we always talk about like, we were big Nancy Drew, like actual game players.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So like fully respect the people that come up with the clues. We have a hard enough time solving them. We just, you know, we leave it up to others to take on that task.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, wild. Yeah. That was hard.
Yeah. But now we're going to move into some more of like the devilish questions. I thought it was real cute with that title there. But I feel like we would be remiss if we did not discuss the hot phantom, Blackwell himself.
Yes.
Oh, Blackwell.
Literally obsessed with Blackwell. And we asked some of our like followers and listeners some questions. And the one that I heard the absolute most was he's very Draco Malfoy and Danny Phantom coded. Were these specific intentional references? Did you use either of those as a reference point or anything else?
Okay. I've never ever read or watched the Wizarding books. I've never. I have no idea at all. And it's really funny because when I first posted art for them, I think is it called Hermione? People were in my comments.
The fan fiction. Yeah.
I had no idea what that word meant. And I'm like Googling it. And then I realized, and I was like, oh yeah, that was not intentional at all. I had no idea. But I was like, there's this an entire part of the internet. I missed that screen. Will not be getting on it. Yeah. But
totally.
Danny Phantom, though, it was an homage, like very loose homage to Danny Phantom. He was my biggest crush when I was like 13.
You want to talk about childhood crushes when people are making those, like, have you seen those cakes on TikTok where they're like hear me out? Cakes. Yeah. But that one you don't you don't need to hear me out. You just put Danny Phantom on there and everyone knows.
Yeah. No. Like we get it. So that was for sure intentional. But I do think it is so funny because everyone has asked me that and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. But yeah, I think it's really fun to put like certain media references I love so much growing up, songs, movies, shows, like it's here and there. I think another big reference for Blackwell specifically was Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love Buffy. It's my favorite show. I'm a big Spike girl. So it's just like, like little bits and pieces of stuff like that.
Yeah. We love, obviously everyone loves Blackwell. Like Blackwell is, number one. When you were developing him, obviously you said like you're super intentional with your plotting. So at the end where, we found out that he is Salem and everything is all tied together, like did it develop over time? Did you change anything about Blackwell as the story was going on?
So he was always that person. And I knew that's always what I was writing towards. And I knew that. Actually, this is like odd too, because I don't think this is how things usually go. But the very first thing I wrote for this book was the prologue. And usually it would be the sort of situation, like for Enchantra, I wrote the book and then I picked the prologue piece. But like for Phantasma, that is the first thing that came to me, like that little snippet, like that scene in my head. So I knew who he was always. And I think that was necessary because in order to write a character that really doesn't have any memories, I feel like I need to know what the memories are. Totally. So I can like make all of his decisions and stuff impactful. I think the thing that kind of snuck up on me, and it was like the very last piece of the story and the puzzle was that it's chapter 51. It was the flashback, like 500 years earlier. Yep. That part was a tiny bit of a surprise of like who Ophelia really was. And I think as soon as I came, like that clicked in my mind, I feel like it was just like the dominant, it was like everything was just like, yes, correct. Yeah. And then I kind of went back through, I made sure that was very woven into the story from the beginning. And then like, that's the first draft I turned into my editor, and he got to that part and he was like, oh my God. I was like, I know, which sucks because I can't ever tell people this is like reincarnation trope, which is one of my favorite things. Yeah. But I have to keep it a secret. So I'm just like, well.
Yeah, because that was when I was reading it and I saw the first capital A in Angel, I lost my shit. I absolutely lost my mind. Like, it was just one of those. And I'm someone who usually I can put pieces together, but I think I was just so immersed in the story that I was completely shocked and taken aback by like the overall twist. But specifically when I saw that capital A, I think I set the book down for a minute and I was like, okay.
This is so fun for me too, because being so intentional with that plot twist. If you look back, the first time Blackwell and Ophelia meet, she doesn't have a name for him. She can't see him, right?
Yeah.
And he says angel, but because it's the start of a sentence, it is capitalized there. But you think of it because it's the start of the sentence. And I had to be so specific and intentional with that, because I knew if he said it in the middle of a sentence and it was capitalized, obviously it's an immediate dead giveaway. So it's just like, those are the sort of bits that I went back. And so it's like, it's there from the beginning. Like, he had a brief flash of some sort of recognition, but then he immediately loses his memories when he sees her again. So those little like threads were very, very fun to do. Yeah.
I know. I want to like listen to it again. I like listened and read it like back and forth just between my life, this last couple weeks. So I want to listen to it again and like go back and pick up on those things. But I wouldn't be picking up on that if I listened to it. So maybe I'll read it again.
Yeah. I get it. I do love the audiobook though.
Love audiobook, saved my life too.
Are we going to get any more of like the consequences fallout from their final decision in the later books?
For sure. I know everyone's so upset. It's like one of those things when you're communicating specifically through social media. Obviously, not everyone's chronically online every second, and certainly not checking up on me every second. So it's like it's hard to get that word out a little bit. But it's like I'm not done with them. And the way I describe this is it's a standalone in the way that I think it has a satisfying ending, and no one's dying over the next book, right? But it's an interconnected standalone series in the way that there is a constant thread and through line for all of these characters throughout the book. Okay, so totally. I am not done with them as a couple. There are obviously things that are coming, like Blackwell still has to go back to hell for the first time. Yeah. There's consequences with Sinclair. He has an entire story that's like obviously not been talked about. They still don't understand the connection with Ophelia. Like Blackwell and Ophelia still do not know that they're of their past connection or the locket. So it's definitely, it's stuff that I know and will be dealt with and done. And obviously there are now 4 books that are announced. I always knew this was coming, but I also know that everyone's like, no, I'll never see them again. I'm like, no, it's not. I promise. Like, so I try to repeat it as much as possible. Like, I promise more is coming.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And that kind of like, ties in obviously like Tessie and Gabriel. Obviously that's like a huge piece of the puzzle with like, everything of them going through Phantasma. And we'll talk more about like Genevieve's story coming up here too. So Sinclair, was he your favorite devil outside of our favorite Phantom? Or do you have another one that you like? Are we going to see any more of them outside of Sinclair? What do we have planned with that?
Sinclair is my favorite. I love him. And I was really hoping people would love him too. I actually think he's kind of nice. I think in a way he's actually kind of nicer than Blackwell, because he was really trying to he was like, girl, I know you hate me for it, but yeah, he was like, I'm trying to save you some time. And he's very angry. And yeah, I loved him so much. I know exactly where I want him to go. The backstory and stuff, all of that was developed. But again, it's sort of one of those things that's like, if I never got to write the book again, I don't think I left him in a place that would make readers hate me. And that was really just the goal with writing a standalone. But there are more devils. There's like there's a new devil in Enchantra. And they're all different shades of morally gray and morally black. And some are just so much worse than others. And they all kind of have their own empires going on in hell. So it's so nice to like explore the different aspects of like the different ones. Yeah.
Well, even with like Sinclair and Blackwell, one of my favorite parts of the book was like enthusiastic consent from a devil can happen. Like, come on. Come on.
I think that's my favorite part of like world building too, because like it goes into the magic system. He's like, a devil's whole thing is that we get your bargain. Like that's like, we want verbal consent to whatever you're agreeing to do. That's how they get their power. So I love building those sort of things that I like consent and love into the magic and world building. Like it feels really satisfying.
Yeah. I feel like it feels that much more magical too, like just talking to you about like the process and everything, seeing how many things were woven in. And like it makes me want to reread it and like go back and find those things. And I'll probably do a reread right before Enchantra comes out just so I can like have all those like ties together.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's talk about Cade, because we, think he's the worst. And it's funny because this is like the second book we read in the last couple months that Cade was like an asshole. So it just, yes. Did you draw from any personal experiences to his behavior? Because we've all met somebody like him, but...
Oh yeah, I think some people think like he was sort of cartoonish villain, which is a valid critique. I don't, however, I always get a little thrill like when I can say, no, that's a real person. No, they're
supposedly.
Yep.
Yeah, no, there are real people, there are real men like that, like not even kind of exaggerating, and we're not even living in anything that's like that life or death. And I know people who have acted like that, and so it's just so funny because I think some people are like, what was his motivation to be so mean? And I'm like, misogyny.
Yeah. Just power, greed.
The South who was very greedy. Yeah. So it's just, yeah, for sure. I didn't even really exaggerate any of his behavior, which is terrifying.
Correct.
But
yes.
Yeah.
No, they exist. And this was almost verbatim to the conversation we had with Mallory, because a lot of people have said like, oh, Cade felt cartoonishly evil. And all of us were like, then you must have never, thankfully, experienced someone like that. Because I promise you there are people in the world that 1,000% behave like this on a regular basis.
Oh yeah, especially like the root of it is sort of like a difference in belief system too. Yeah. And I mean, like I better than anyone I know, being from the South and living in the South, that difference and the way it makes people very, very angry and mean. Mm-hmm. And he honestly, he had the proof in front of him that she was not a demon, and he was still determined to believe that. And that was to me the most realistic aspect of his character. Like he was going to go all the way down thinking that. So,
oh my goodness. Well, we all know one, unfortunately. And like we said, if you don't, good for you. But just because you haven't experienced them doesn't mean they don't exist.
Yes.
I think we'll go into so we've entered Phantasma and talk about what we think would happen. So I just want to know, like, realistically, we're going realistic, guys. We gotta think deep here. How far do we realistically think that we would get into Phantasma? Like, are we forfeiting? Are we making a deal? Are we not making it out alive? Like, what's the vibe here?
I personally would have been out of there the moment I stepped in and that ghost like entrails fell out of their body. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you know what? I don't think I want anything this bad.
Yeah, I feel like there might be another way to do this.
Yeah. I think it's the difference is like, am I promised Blackwell? Like, am I guaranteed?
Yeah.
Because then possibly my answer changes. But if not, I'm leaving. Like, I wouldn't have gone there in the first place, to be honest. If my sister had gone in there, I'd been like, good luck, girl. Bring home the prize.
Yeah, I'll be waiting on the outside for you. I feel that.
Yeah, like, honestly... So I'm like super obsessed with the paranormal, and I've always been obsessed with the paranormal, very into it. Like I have a Ouija board planchette tattooed on me, a crystal ball, all that fun stuff. However, when it comes to actually experiencing it, I have different vibes. And I feel like the minute a devil asked me and tried to pluck what my greatest fear was from the depths of my mind, I think I would have been like, you know what? I don't even know what that is, and I don't want to experience it. I don't want to, I don't need it. I can't. Now, like you said, if we were guaranteed a hot phantom on the other side, like I might reconsider. There would 1,000%, like the bargain is offered to me. I wouldn't have thought twice. I would have immediately taken it.
You're stronger than me.
Yes. like I don't know. The first time the ceiling rains blood, or there's like a cat leading me down a hallway where I almost get mauled by a spirit. Like I just don't. I would have been like, take me out. Yeah.
Yep. I also think it's like before the trials, like even if you could stomach all of that and you still didn't think it was a bad idea, the second I was told that once I'm in the trial, I have to complete it, like I'm just hedging my bets. I'm like, I'm going to forfeit. Like there's just no way.
No.
Yeah.
No. And I just think like all of the lead up, like the way, because obviously what I loved too is that you can tell that Ophelia deals with so much like horror just in her mind on a daily basis for her to be mostly unaffected by a lot of the things that she was seeing. And so like that parallel comes out there. And I just think though, like as I'm reading it, I'm sitting here going like, how are you able to like stomach what's being, you know, done in front of you? But yeah, I'm glad to know that all of us collectively would say good luck.
That's why we like to read it, and we have Kaylee to write about it, so we don't have to actually physically go.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, it's so fascinating to explore because I'm always safe and cozy in my little book room.
Yeah, because like it exists up here.
Right.
And you get to make the rules. Like you pick what happens.
Yeah.
Like I can't even get through a haunted house without feeling like I'm gonna die. So
I know it's rough.
Yeah. What do we think our worst fear would be in the trials?
Dude, I have so many.
I was about to say, so many. I just constantly have a fear of waking up to someone being in my home. Like, because there's just something so like terrifying to think like at your most vulnerable when you're asleep.
Yeah.
There's like someone wandering around. So I'm constantly like, if I open my eyes and there's something there, just take me out. I want it to be instant. Like,
just get rid of me.
Yeah, just I'm done. I say that's about like a zombie apocalypse and stuff too. Like if the world was ending, I want out on impact. Not even first wave, on impact. Like I'm done.
I just talked about this. So at work, we do a thing called Hell Week, and our theme was the undead training camp. So it was all zombies. So I was talking with our members about like, do you guys want to survive a zombie apocalypse? And some of them are like, I feel like I could make it. And I was like, I am chronically ill and I wear contact lenses. Like, I just get rid of me now.
Yes.
Like
the glasses thing alone, I'm done.
Like I have to take medication. I'm not robbing anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to rebuild this world.
I have allergies. I can't do this.
You know what, that too. If you're going to come to me and ask me to start building stuff, that's also it. I'm so sorry. Like, I have one skill and it's like writing silly little stories. Like I'm not building anything. These hands are soft. They're moisturized.
No, I just I have so many inherent fears, and I feel like my deepest, darkest one is one that I probably like need to like go back to my inner child and resolve. So like I'm so afraid to explore what that might be. And honestly, like I'm really mean to myself in my head, so I don't want to know what like a devil would take that and like do with that. Like
right.
I don't want to see it.
I mean, kind of like Ophelia too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
yes.
I think it's, oh my gosh. No, that was definitely some self-exploring there of like her worst fear being what she would do to herself.
Yes.
Like that's what I mean. Like you're so mean to yourself and it's like, oh my God. Yeah. I don't even know, to be honest.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I have nightmares all the time. Well, I have nightmares all the time. So I feel like I do live my worst fears a lot because I can remember my dreams and I like very lucid dream, but I can't move, I'm aware. So if any of those came true, like kind of similar to you, Kaylee, where like somebody's in my house and I'm like in bed and I can't move and I can't wake up and I like, so there's a lot. There's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is why none of us would enter Phantasma.
Right.
Yes. They would have a lot to work with me.
Now, but if we if we had to pick one trial, like we had to complete it, what do you think you would be most successful at trial wise?
I think I could do the fraud one. I think I could do that one because it would be my husband. And I know him so well. Like, I mean, I would know all the questions to ask, like everything. So I think possibly. And I mean, like, I feel so bad because I have answered this before. And he's like, so you'd risk me dying is what you're saying.
You're like, honey, I had to pick one that I have to win.
My answer is, and I'd love to I love him dearly. But my answer is yes, because I risk you dying, but I would technically still be alive. So at least one of us is living. At least I'm living. Like, I'm saving my. And then, of course, it turns into like, would you want me to die? Like, would you keep going? But yeah,
The
I think
ultimate
I
couples
really do.
question.
Yeah. I do think I could do that one though, or maybe like Lust. I feel like I could do Lust. So
Yeah. Hannah, yours was
Mine was Fraud too.
Fraud too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought my husband, I'm like, oh, I could definitely figure that out. I could figure it out.
Yeah.
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 I don't have, like, I am all alone out here living the fun little single life. So whoever they put in there, I would be terrified for, because it could be so many people, one of my parents, something like that. But I think that I could do Deceit. I'm pretty good at reading people. I'm pretty observant. I feel like I could have picked up from like the conversations at dinner before each of the trials. I feel like I would have my best bet at that, like losing all of my senses, anything where I like there's flames or like people are fighting, count me out.
Yeah.
Count me out. Not gonna happen. But yeah, I think Deceit would definitely be mine, probably followed closely by Fraud as like my secondary backup choice.
Yeah. I would like to think I could do Deceit, except like if I don't have that skip button, I do fear that people would easily be able to convince me that whatever they're saying was true. So I'm just so worried.
I feel like I would have to just go by like gut instinct. Like I would just have to like just go for it, which we know didn't work out great for some people, but that's okay. Maybe I would do better.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, like you did not have to hit the button that quickly, but that's
so true. That is so true.
I was writing it and I was like, this, I mean, it feels very right for the character, but I was like chill, like calm down.
Like, you don't have to do that. Why are we doing all that? Oh my gosh. Well, we definitely would survive Phantasma, y'all. We definitely would.
If Kaylie was writing it, we would. If Kaylie, Kaylie would save us.
All right, so now we have so much to talk about real quick about like what's next, because you have so many exciting things. You were posting like post after post, and I was just sending them all to Hannah, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this information.
I know, I have to make like a rundown video because I was like, this is a lot. I know.
It's so exciting though.
So we are excited for Enchantra.
Yes.
Enchantra. I am also excited for Enchantra. I'm also terrified.
Really?
I've never been so terrified. Yeah, it's kind of like when it's just like me writing, like, again, I never expected anything from Phantasma. Like, I just wrote the book I wanted to write, and now I'm being so perceived, and now I'm like, oh, Enchantra is different too. Like, it is in a lot of ways. I think it's funnier. There's like a huge sibling dynamic to it. The relationship is very, very different. It's not as like horror adjacent either. Like the vibes are different. So I'm just sort of like, I hope everyone likes it. But I think it's actually really funny because I think the best, the book that's going to be the all-time fave is the third book, which is what I'm drafting right now. I genuinely think this is going to be everyone's favorite. So it's like, it's just so interesting because by the time Enchantra comes out, the third book will be nearly done. So
because it's the third book slated for fall of 2025 as of right now, correct?
As of right now, yeah.
Yep. And then the fourth installment, fall of 2026, is, I watched your video like 3 times and then looked at all of your posts to put this together.
I know, it's so much.
Which is fine. But for Enchantra, you said it was kind of like, or I saw like the blurb, it was like similar to like a Ready or Not sort of vibe. I actually just watched that for the first time. Like,
finally.
I know. We had a Halloween party and my friends were like, why have you not watched this? And I was like, oh, no, give me it right now. I want it. Like,
it's a god-tier movie. That's genuinely top 3 movies for me. Like, I love Ready or Not. And this is absolutely an homage to that. Like, I love that movie and every aspect. So yeah, I think people who are fans of Ready or Not will like Enchantra, but it also has a sort of strange, whimsical, like magic vibe to it as well. Because it's also like the Labyrinth. Have you ever seen David Bowie's Labyrinth? Okay. Mm-hmm. It's a little of that too. So it's just interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I will say too, like, even from I feel like the covers alone, at least for me, I'm a visual person. And so like looking at the cover where it is purple and a little more vibrant and like a little bit brighter, it feels different. So, and I feel like too, just with the, like, with everyone knowing, like, we will see Blackwell and Ophelia, like, don't everyone breathe. Yeah. Everyone take 3 deep breaths. I promise it's going to be fine. No, but very, very excited for it. And I don't want books to be the same because I don't want to read the same story, 4 times over. So, well, you'll at least have 2 very excited readers of Enchantra.
And then you have your 3rd and final installment too for your YA series, right? Is coming out next fall.
Yes. I just got the cover for that actually last week. It's my favorite one. I love it. Yeah. That coming to a close is also so strange because I've been working on that. Like the first book of that series is started when I was like 16. So yeah, it's definitely like, wow. But yeah, nice little like final chapter. I'm really excited for it. I can't wait for all the 10 people who are going to read it. They're going to have so much. That's fair though. It's so funny because everyone's like, I want to read like all the other things you wrote. And I'm like, pause. They're so different. I'm not supposed to tell people don't read my backlist, but I'm like extensively research my backlist first because they're very different. So
yeah, and I mean just some books are just not meant for some people. Yeah, like that is A-okay.
Yeah, it's like people who go from my YA to my adult having a grand time. People who read Phantasma first and then are reading Ruin Estate are like, wait, and I'm like, yeah.
You're like, stop, it's different.
Like, it's okay, but and I think Britt's really excited though for your new trilogy that's coming out.
Kaylie, I screamed. Like when I shouted out loud when I saw the post.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I love book 3 of Wicked Games. I'm having so much fun, genuinely such a good time. And thank God, because otherwise I think it would be the worst, most excruciating process in the world because all I want to do is write Cressida's book so badly. Yes. I have obviously I sold it on proposal, so I have some written already. It's heavily outlined. I know the whole series, but I love it so much. It makes me sick. Yeah. Yeah.
I literally cannot wait. And that one, we're going to have quite a few books in that series as well too, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've announced 3. But I mean, yeah, I told my editor, I was like, I will write 1 million books with Cressida as the star. I adore her. She is like every other girl, but so much worse. And I love her.
Obsessed. Yeah. No, obviously it is still, we got the proposal, we got the outline, we got a little bit of it. Can you tell us anything about, because I know it's running by Such Wicked Things right now is like the running series-ish title.
Yeah, I have titles for like the actual books itself, but like that is an extensive process. So
totally.
And I was just like, a lot of people do announce their working titles and then they just change them. But I personally hate that because then I get stuck calling it that. Readers get stuck calling it that. So I was this is tentative series title. Here you go. But yeah, so it's a second world urban fantasy. The best way I can explain it is it takes place in a world that looks like ours, modern day, except it's in a universe that our world that exists is not the only one. So it's very expansive. There's a lot going on, but it's about a demon named Cressida. She works in a very specific, she has a sector. They all have jobs and her sector is New Orleans. And her job is that every mortal that dies, she is a demon that takes their soul and like transports it to like the judgment place pretty much. And she wakes up one day and she's being blamed and charged with like a very heinous illegal crime, and the council gives her 30, they don't think it's her, but someone has to be held responsible. So this celestial council gives her 30 days to clear her name or be punished for it herself. And chaperoning her during this whole ordeal is an archangel named Edelyn, who is on probation, and chaperoning her is his punishment. And she's absolutely tried to kill him multiple times. He hates her.
Love
She
it.
thinks it's just a fun little game they're playing. He is like, I literally, if I could legally murder you, I would. So yeah, it's sort of it's really fun. I love like paranormal urban fantasy so much. So I'm just really excited because it's just really fun.
Yeah, I have not read a lot of urban fantasy. My only dip in it has been Crescent City. And honestly, like I loved Crescent City. I know it's not a lot of people's vibes, but like I am so excited to read more and like expand the world on that. And I know I have to wait for it, so I'll be patient, I promise. But seriously cannot wait for that one.
I'm so excited to bring Angels and Demons back. Adeline Grace also has an Angels Demons trilogy coming out that I could not be more excited for too. So it's like I'm like, is this happening? Is it coming back? I'm so excited.
Bring it back. Like I grew up, my favorite show growing up was Charmed. Like that's the vibe. Yes. Yeah, bring it back.
Exactly. Charmed, Buffy, that's like paranormal urban fantasy. That's exactly the vibes I'm trying to bring.
Sold.
Yeah.
Sold.
But I was going to say, I saw in your top 6, I think it was 6, right? That you did A Clockwork Prince. And I haven't finished that series yet. And I saw that, I was like, I need to go back because I read the original one. Loved it. But I need to go. I love the Mortal Instruments series.
I was about to say that the Clockwork series and Infernal Devices were what made me want to be an author. That trilogy specifically. I love it so much. I love that love triangle and Tessa. So yeah, definitely.
I know I need to revisit that world and finish it up. I saw it. I was like, I need to go back.
Yes, especially if you like things that are slightly historical. I just think they're so good. They're so fun. Yep.
Yeah. Before we move into our song choices, was there anything else that you want to add about what's to come, Phantasma, anything else for readers, listeners?
No, I mean, I hope everyone I hope everyone sticks around. I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll make so many TikToks just demanding that people read them. I actually made a very aggressive one and I got a lot of people to read it. So
yay. Thank you for your service.
I held it up and I was like, what are you doing? Go read it right now. But I did tell a couple of people, I was like, don't read it. This is not for you. You wouldn't like this.
Yeah. I think that's so important. I tell people all the time when they like ask, or they're like, I don't really like spicy stuff. And I'm like, don't read it. Or like, I don't really like horror. Don't read it.
Don't read it. I was like, there's a little bit of horror. It's not crazy, but like, if you're scared by blood, there's a lot of it.
Yeah, exactly. I have a thing with blood. I mean, it's very apparent. Not a secret. So I think I see readers doing that too. Like when people are like, would I like it if I don't like this or this? And they're like, oh, maybe not. I'm like, that is equally as important work, I think, as spreading it word of mouth. Because you want it to find its audience. So
yes,
for sure.
Yes. All right. We're going to move into like our little song dissection. So usually we just go through and like talk about how your song choice correlates with the plot. You give a theme lyric or two. You can go through as much of the song or as little of the song as you want.
Okay. So Iris has been one of my favorite songs for a long time. I actually think it's so interesting that you sort of put it in that category as yellow. Because I'm like, hold on, like maybe... Did I miss that this whole time? You're right, though. You're right. It's sort of that like that very much larger heaven like than life sort of like love, like eternal sort of love. I listened to this a lot when I was writing this, but like I always knew it would kind of influence this book because just the line like I'd give up forever to touch you, or the whole thing is like there's a line about heaven too, like you're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be. And that's just so Blackwell. And it's, especially with her name being Angel and everything like that, it was just like, it just made sense to me.
Yeah.
But I love that song. And I really, when I listen to it, like my goal was to make the atmosphere of that song kind of translate into some of their like love scenes too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hopefully I was successful. I love it so much. Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a good song. It definitely encompasses them like 100%.
Yes. It makes me happy.
Yeah.
The only other thing is like the whole, I just want you to know who I am. I also feel like is really on the nose, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's like, that's like, even if he doesn't know himself, I think that's part of Blackwell's character. Like he can't remember himself, but he's just so overjoyed that she knows at least the version of him that she's been presented with. Like he in the bathtub scene, like he's very touched. He's like, I've met a lot of people in here and not a single person would have been able to tell like it was me and like that game of lust, like, and she knew almost immediately. So anyway, that's it. That's my, that's my sappy rendition of
obsessed.
it.
I love it. So I did So It Goes. Like I said, this one was I listened to it and I was like, yeah. But it's just immediately See You in the Dark, All Eyes on You, My Magician. Like, you know, you make everyone disappear. Specifically to like Gold Cage, Hostage to My Feelings, Back Against the Wall. Like, I mean, it's almost like Taylor like went back in time or went forward in time, read this book, and then wrote the song based on it. But the specific one too, like we break down a little bit When You Get Me Alone, It's So Simple. Like their whole relationship was like all she wanted was, obviously we know that there was way more to it, the deep internal connection and all that, but like all she wanted was a distraction. And as soon as her and Blackwell were alone, it was like everything else fell away. I'm yours to keep and I'm yours to lose. I'm not a bad girl, but I do bad things with you. But this one too, I make all your gray days clear and wear you like a necklace. And so with the heart-shaped locket and with everything going on there with the reincarnation, I loved it so much. But very specifically too, like, you know, come here dressed in black now. But you did a number on me, but honestly, baby, who's counting? And she counts to 3. And I was like, that's just such a representation of all of Ophelia's struggle with her OCD, with the voice in her head, with the 3 taps, with the 3 knocks. And yeah, I think So It Goes, like you said earlier, is super underrated, super underappreciated. And as soon as I heard it, like I said, that's my girl.
No, you're so right. It's actually, I mean, I love So It Goes is like probably, okay, Ready For It is my favorite off Reputation. I also think that's so underrated. I'm sorry. In the middle of the night in my dreams, you should see the things we do. What? But like Ready For It and So It Goes and Dancing with Your Hands Tied were always my favorite. And I like, it always surprises me how many people don't know So It Goes, but I always have Taylor on always too when I'm writing. And I kind of like, I always wonder like some of these things in the back of my head. This song though, you're right. It's like so indicative of so many aspects of the two of them. And even like the honestly, baby, who's counting, like thinking about, it's like the king is counting down as well, right? Like years until they're going to be together again. I love every facet of everything you just said.
Thank you.
Playlist.
Yeah. I don't know. It was one of those, like, I think it's because we relate music to all of the books we read so often that I very much now am like always thinking referentially. But I think even the vibe of it too, like we talk like cinematically, like I don't know if you're like because I know some people aren't, but super, super visual people. And so I can see scenes play out in my head. And I feel like this would be in the background of like one of their scenes together.
Yeah. Oh, listen, if anyone is ever silly enough to give me an adaptation, and by silly, I mean like I so sorry to everyone because I will be insufferable.
As you should be. As you should be.
As we will be too, so.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm not kidding. These songs, top of my list to be like, hey, you know what you should play during the blood rains?
Why don't we just call Taylor up real quick and like ask her?
Right? No, literally.
I feel like if I was to pick a Taylor song, Britt, I would have picked the same one because I'm a rep girly to my core. But I did pick Ophelia for obvious reasons. But I mean, the chorus, right? Like, you've been on my mind, girl, since the flood. Oh, Ophelia, heaven help a fool who falls in love. Like, is that not the vibe right there? Like,
yes.
Yeah. And the whole like song it was stuck in my head the whole time, but like playing in the background because it's like such like a upbeat, but also like kind of a sad song. I don't, you know, it's just that vibe, but I love it. And I love the name Ophelia, so I had to.
I know. I do love the Luminaires song is like obviously the first one I thought of too, but also just in the way like heaven help the fool who falls in love is.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire game.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah. Like he literally, she's walking in and he's like, oh, I just took your greatest fear. And by the way, don't fall in love.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to like a paranormal competition. Why would I ever fall in love?
Like that's
but heaven help the fool.
Suggest.
What a weird thing to say.
No, I literally every time I hear that song now, that's all. Like she's all I think about, which is so funny.
Yeah.
So.
No, Taylor is constantly on like a full loop. I have a Taylor inspired tattoo. Peace is my favorite song of all time by her.
Okay.
And so I have a Peace tattoo. The vibes of Taylor just run through my veins, basically.
I don't think I could possibly write a book that doesn't apply to one of her songs. I mean, like obviously Haunted is also sort of like on my list.
Yeah.
Too. I have so many Taylor Swift tattoos. It's probably a problem at this point.
I feel like it's fine.
If I were ever to meet me. One of my favorite songs though is Treacherous, and I have a Treacherous tattoo. It's again underrated.
It's one of my favorite songs.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole like nothing safe is worth the drive. Just that alone, and in my head that was also kind of always playing like this hope is treacherous, but like I like it. That really reminds me of them as well. I mean, there's just so much, like
so many.
People are always like, why do you love her? And it's like hard to explain because Taylor Swift, the billionaire that they know, like Eras Tour Taylor, is not the same Taylor. Like, I mean, not in good or bad ways. It's just not the same Taylor that I grew up with. Like, I was like, this woman raised me since 2006. I was 11. Okay. Like it's just like her music has been the soundtrack of my life for so long. So it's like just that I just find myself like every time I finish a book, even if it wasn't intentional, like I'll be listening to a song and I'll just click in my head like, oh, this absolutely like, influenced some sort of atmospheric or like entity in my work and stuff. So
yes.
I could do 3 hours of yapping over all the most underrated songs in her discography, and the first ones on my list are Treacherous and I Almost Do, because for as decorated and like well acclaimed by fans Red is, I'm like, why are those never discussed? I have a problem with it. Like, what do you mean? I'm like ever. I never see them discussed, and I'm like, no. I need to talk about this more.
Yeah, we will discuss it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. I've had so much fun. This has been such a blast. Huge thank you to Kaylie Smith for joining us again today. Be sure to read Phantasma. Please pre-order Enchantra. Please. I know we're all going to love it. So where can everyone find you and support you online?
I am most active on Instagram if you want to look into my daily chaos, but I'm also on TikTok, and my usernames everywhere are Kale's Moon. Everyone asks me why. I'm in a relationship with the moon, but also Kaylie Smith is the most common name. None of the handles were available, so I was like, I'm just gonna make my own. But yeah, Enchantra's coming up next. I have a big book year next year, so definitely a lot of art and a lot more things to come that I'm really excited about.
Cannot wait.
Yes, we are so excited to be on this ride with you and be fans of yours. We can be Kaylee's, like Swifties. I'll be Kaylee's.
We'll find a name for it. We'll workshop it.
But after you follow Kaylie, please follow us as well on Instagram, TikTok, and also our Patreon. We would love to hear your book recommendations too. We want to know what you're reading and want to know what you want us to cover going forward.
And remember, keep reading with kindness.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.